Okay, we're back live again after the drill, so here we go.
Okay, we're almost done with the changes that you have in this draft. The last one is on, the second last one is on page 45. This is, I said when you took out subsection C for the report that you were requiring on increasing the gross weight limits on highways, and how there also was going to be the report back on the municipal portal. Since you're not requiring to report back on the municipal portal, you took out subsection C. I changed the title, both the reader assistance heading on line 7 and the section title on lines 8 and 9. And then your final change in this draft is going to be on page 52. And these are going to be the effective dates, numbers shift a little bit. And then for purposes of the language that I think now you're hearing from the agency about with the statutory default speed limits, that has a new effective date being effective on January 1 of 2024. But if this language comes out, then the effective date language will change as well. So that's it in terms of the changes that you're seeing from draft 4.3 to 5.1. In draft 6.1, the additional changes will be to that implementation language for the outreach for the speed limit piece, if you keep it in, and the addition of Senator Perchlik's motorcycle stamp language. And I'll have that in draft 6.1, and I can turn that around very, very quickly once you know what's going to be happening with the speed limits in general.
Michelle, I guess you're on.
Michelle Boom, here, I'll just.
What's that?
It's going to be section 17 on page 14.
So I was able to reach our engineering folks, and they indicated that it's a pretty low bar for towns to set a speed limit and post it at 35 miles per hour. So that was, there was a confusion about like what the purpose was, since they have that authority already. And then the other thing was, and I think we talked about this yesterday, related to the sign packages on the entrances to the state, on state highways and the interstates, and that those would need to be changed. And logistically, I'm not sure, like, I asked them and I haven't heard back yet, like, could you put tape over it or whatever? I don't know exactly what options there are. I would say we're not going to oppose the language if you think it's this language that's necessary, but it may, depending on what it takes to adjust our signage on the highways entering the state, it may take us a while to sort of make that transition based on what different ways we would have to do it, if we have to replace a whole sign or if we can adapt in some manner.
Do we have a deadline now on it?
So this would go into effect on January 1 of 2024. You took out the signage language, so there's no requirement that the signs be updated at any point. However, you could potentially have a situation where the language goes into effect on January 1 of 2024, and there might still be signs up that do not reflect that change in codified law. You could delay it past January 1, 2024, give them more time, or
I would give them time. I don't know how you want to do that. We should give them time.
Well, I won't fall on my sword. It just seemed like a default to 50 seemed to be
Yes.
Unsafe for these roads. I recognize the problem with the signage that we still had, unless otherwise. I just know sometimes signs get knocked over, they get plowed down, and they aren't always replaced. So, and there are long stretches in some of these towns where you have a large network of unpaved roads, and I think so. That's that's the issue here.
Yeah. And I definitely understand and agree with that, because I was one of the people who was aware of the fact that it's 50 unless posted. But I would say that maybe another approach would be for the agency to come back in January and advise you relative to.
I'm not going to ask you to do that in statute.
Okay, yeah.
Not in the bill.
Right.
I think it's just a highway safety issue.
Yeah.
Because I don't think these unpaved roads, or these old dirt roads, were ever designed for that level of speed. A lot of them were, obviously put in back before cars. So it's not, it's more of a safety concern. So if the timing is a problem right now, then I'm willing to have it removed and take a bit more
You
time.
don't want to go to 24?
Well, I don't know.
You want to go to March 1 of 2024, and then if you need to postpone, you'll be in the building. 'cause then
You
that's
can
when
do
the
something like
session
that.
started.
I don't want to just be ignoring the issues that this presents. And I acknowledge we have signs, but I would say that we fundamentally have a safety issue.
I think what we can also do is, we're only in the middle or end of February right now. We have time to get more detail on this and understand what measures we can take to update those signs and not have an issue with this.
Well, so do we just bump up the date?
You could make the call center, Kitchell.
That's what I was.
I hate to let it go. To me, it's a highway safety issue.
Absolutely.
I know that the speed on some of these back roads is increasing. Neighborhoods are struggling with it. So if we give ourselves more time to figure out how to put it in place, that would be fine.
July 1, 2024 make more sense than March, just because March we'd have to like cram it through and get it.
So thoughts are, as I mentioned, if you go until March 1 of 2024, you'll be back in the building. You could always push it a teeny bit with the Budget Adjustment Act.
I hate to do that, give ourselves more time.
So you want to do July 1 of 2024. And then to Michelle's comment, it's February, you're probably gonna be in the building for this session for at least a couple more months. So if it turns out that it's a non-issue to update the signs, you can always ask your counterparts in the House, or when it comes back to the Senate, make that change to put it back to January of 2024. So I'll make it July 1 of 2024. And with that, I think I have my marching orders for draft 6.1, and if you give me like 10 minutes, I can be back and have had it edited, and you can vote it out if you want.
Great. That'd be great.
We could vote it out.
We'll vote it out.
They're pretty good.
They are pretty minor, but I'm told that I'm supposed to get you the final version to vote out. So,
Okay, hand carry up to.
Well, yeah,
and then Senator Mazza, you'll need to sign it, and it'll need to go to drafting operations. So
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Well, good. In progress. So we got a break and then we're not done today.
Oh, no, we've got South Grove.
Thank you, Anthea.
Yeah, see you in a couple minutes.
Going in at 10 o'clock, you see? She's anxious to go somewhere.
Thank you, Michelle.
thanks for coming down.
I've had a busy day. I'll see you later.
Okay, so our next item, and we're waiting till we got a break at 10:15.
So I'll take a break and wait
Yeah.
until she comes back.
Yeah.
We'll vote it out.
At
Do you want to vote
10:50.
it out now without us?
Let's take our break now.
She said
Yeah.
that they don't like us